And hello all, welcome to the end of Chapter 7, Lesson 9 to be specific, problem solving with equations. Now if you'd like, go ahead and pause, take a look at your answers, and come on back when you're ready. And so let's focus on where we've been, where we are now, and where we are heading. Once again, we've been working with fractions for a while, adding, subtracting, and then just this chapter getting into multiplying and dividing both fractions and mixed numbers. And why would we do that? Well, we're using it to examine and find parts of things. For instance, find 2/5 of 85. Then we tried finding finding the original number if we knew a part of it. And actually today is going to be kind of wrapping all that up with word problems. Now, sooner or later, we're going to get to more proportional problems, things like percentages. But for today, our focus, our goal is the following. I will write and solve equations for word problems. Let's go ahead and start with this good old-fashioned Christmas movie. Mr. Cowan surveyed his students asking which How the Grinch Stole Christmas movie was the best. 4/7 of the students argued that the original cartoon from 1966 was the best. If 54 students voted for the original, how many students were surveyed? Now, the first thing we're going to do, ladies and gents, is just examine the problem and kind of try to retell the problem without using numbers if at all possible. All right, so we're talking about a movie, How the Grinch Stole Christmas, classic Dr. Seuss thing. We know a part of students said they liked the original the best. And the question is asking, if we know that part, what was the total number of students that were surveyed? Now, that's important as we get into the problem. Now, don't forget our cubes method of doing close reading to any word problem. Math, we do close reading a little differently. We circle numbers and their labels. We underline key math terms. We box in what the question or problem is looking for. And we, yes, can eliminate or cross off things that are not that important. Last but not least, we solve and show our work. Now, the first thing I do is look at the question. Before I even look at what numbers are important, what key math terms are there, what is it asking us to find? It's asking us basically to find how many total students there were. Then I go back and say, well, 4/7, that's a key quantity, argued for the original. 54 what? 54 students voted for that original. And while I don't think there are any other important math terms or numbers, I'm actually going to eliminate things like, well, we don't care about 1966. We don't even really care, as much as it pains me to say this, what Christmas movie we're talking about. So let's focus on the mathematics here. And naturally, the key question to ask is, what is it that we know and what is it that we're looking for? For instance, is the problem giving us 4/7 of 54, or is the problem giving us 4/7 of some number? And in this case, what we do know is we have the part. So we need the equation 4/7 of some mystery number of the total is equal to 54. So that pretty much is the most important part, turning the verbal sentences into algebraic sentences. In other words, turn the words into math. From here, we're just going to use our skills that we have learned from this chapter. If we have that part and we want the whole, we're going to go ahead and multiply both sides by the multiplicative inverse. And in this case, the multiplicative inverse of 4/7 is 7/4. Why do we do that? Because all that cancels out, giving us what we wanted, the original n number of students. I'm going to go ahead and slip a 1 underneath that 54. You may either multiply first and reduce second, or, as I much prefer, reduce first and multiply second. Why do I prefer that? Because the numbers get much smaller. 4 goes into 4 once, 4 goes into 54 16 times. And so when we multiply 16 wholes times 7 wholes, we get, let's see, 70 and 42. it would appear, as long as I did my multiplication correct mentally, I could have gone easily off to the side and checked that. 112 students in all, which by the way does make sense. If you think about the part, we have sevens here. And we knew 4 sevenths was 54. So if we split 54 up into 4 parts, but then we don't just want 4 parts, we want all 7 parts. That, ladies and gents, is why we split it up into 4 parts and then multiplied by 7. And that's what we have for today. Just taking skills. I'm not going to tell you today is easy. It's supposed to be a challenge because it combines things that we have already learned. It synthesizes previously learned concepts, things like word problems, equations, as well as fractions and multiplicative inverses all together. So that's what we have, folks. Sorry for the date. The date is wrong. Page 203, numbers 5 to 16 for assignment 13. I will be back in class to further review and help you guys get ready. Quiz tomorrow. That's all I have to tell you. Have a good day and let's grow.